Vera entered the courthouse as if she were stepping into a cage. The heavy doors closed behind her, severing her from the fragile world where she and Nika could still breathe freely. Today was another hearing, and with each passing day, her conviction of victory dwindled like the first snow melting under the spring sun. Mikhail, her ex-husband, awaited her in the courtroom, radiating a self-assurance only money and connections could provide. The courtroom was stuffy. The close air pressed down on Vera's shoulders, making her hunch. She cast a furtive glance at Nika, seated beside their lawyer, Nosov. Her daughter was holding up admirably, but fear swam in her large hazel eyes, a fear Vera shared. Judge Andreeva entered the room and everyone rose. Vera's heart pounded in her chest like a trapped bird. "We are hearing the case regarding the determination of the residency of minor Nikitina Veronika Mikhailovna," the judge announced, the echo of her words a painful throb in Vera's head. Mikhail immediately launched his offensive. His words were polished, each one precise, like bullets fired from an expensive pistol. "Your Honor," he began, his gaze fixed on the judge with feigned sorrow. "I am deeply concerned about my daughter's well-being. Vera is incapable of providing her with adequate living conditions. She lacks a stable income and constantly changes jobs. Nika lives in our old apartment, deprived of proper nutrition and opportunities for development." Vera's blood ran cold. This was a brazen, cynical lie. She worked 2 jobs to ensure Nika had everything she needed. Yes, their life was modest, but the girl had never gone hungry or been deprived of love. Mikhail continued his assault. He presented photographs of their old apartment, taken when Vera had just separated from him and was going through a difficult period. The images showed bare shelves, worn furniture, and scuffed walls. He skillfully played on pity, painting a picture of a failed mother unable to care for her child. He then moved on to medical documents. Old hospital discharge papers from when Vera was treated for depression after the divorce were presented as proof of her being mentally unstable and a danger to Nika. "Your Honor," Mikhail continued, his voice resonating with conviction and authority, "I believe Nika would be better off with me. I can provide her with everything she requires: a comfortable home, a good education, and medical care. I have a stable income and the ability to give her a happy future." Vera attempted to interject, but the words caught in her throat. Lawyer Nosov appeared completely flustered. He nervously fiddled with his tie, looking at Mikhail with a hint of alarm. "Vera, do you have anything to say in response to Nikitin's accusations?" the judge asked. Vera cleared her throat and tried to collect her thoughts. "Your Honor, all of this is untrue," she stated, her voice trembling. "I love my daughter and do everything in my power to make her happy. Yes, we are going through difficult times, but I am working, I am trying, and I will never abandon Nika." Yet, her words sounded unconvincing, like in guilty parties' weak defense. Vera felt her own insecurity fueling Mikhail's arrogance. "Your Honor," Mikhail interrupted, "Vera cannot even provide the child with adequate nutrition. Nika constantly complains about not having enough to eat. I believe Nika deserves to live in proper conditions, not in poverty." Vera felt a wave of nausea rise in her throat. This was the most vile lie. Nika had never complained about food. Vera scrimped on everything else so her daughter could have essentials. She looked at Nika. The girl sat with her head bowed, weeping silently. Vera felt a pang of guilt. She shouldn't have allowed Mikhail to humiliate them in front of everyone. "That's not true," Vera declared, her voice now firmer. "Nika never goes hungry. I love my daughter, and she loves me. We will overcome all difficulties together." Mikhail merely smirked. "Love is good," he said. "But a decent life requires money, and Vera doesn't have it." Vera fell silent. She knew he was right. In this world, money dictated everything, and Mikhail had plenty of it. The judge observed the proceedings intently, her gaze neither sympathetic nor judgmental. She was simply doing her job. "The court will retire for deliberation," the judge announced, and everyone stood. Vera left the courtroom feeling utterly drained, crushed, humiliated, and powerless. Mikhail had taken not only her husband, but also her self-confidence. Now he wanted to take Nika too. Nika ran to her and hugged her. "Mom, don't cry," she whispered. "Everything will be all right." Vera hugged her daughter back, fighting back tears. She couldn't afford to break down. She had to fight for Nika, even if the odds of winning were infinitesimal. Vera and Nika walked home in silence. Tension hung in the air, palpable even to a child. Vera walked with her head down, her shoulders slumped from exhaustion and despair. It felt as if Mikhail were systematically dismantling her, step by step, taking away the most precious thing she possessed, her daughter. Upon entering their apartment, Vera sank onto the sofa without even taking off her coat. She stared blankly, as if searching for an answer to a tormenting question. How could she protect Nika from Mikhail? How could she prove to the court that she was a good mother despite all his deceitful accusations? "Mom, what's wrong?" Nika asked softly, sitting beside her. Vera embraced her daughter, pulling her close, and began to cry. Tears flowed torrents, betraying her desperation and helplessness. "Everything will be all right, sweetie," she whispered through her tears, though she didn't believe her own words. "I will never give you away to anyone." Nika hugged Vera tightly in return. She felt she had to be strong for her mother, to help her through this difficult situation. "I know, Mom," Nika whispered. "I will help you." Vera managed a tearful smile. In Nika's words, she found a certainty and support that warmed her soul. Later, as Vera prepared dinner, Nika quietly slipped away into her father's study. Ever since her parents' divorce, the study had remained largely untouched, frozen in time. She approached the large desk where she often saw her father working. Nika remembered how he would get angry when she disturbed him, but now she had a strong feeling that the key to her mother's salvation lay hidden within this very room. Nika knew her father was meticulously organized and always kept important documents in a specific place. She began to carefully open the desk drawers one by one, trying to be as quiet as possible. The first drawer held old bills and receipts, the second stationery. Nika was about to give up when her gaze fell upon a small, locked drawer at the very bottom of the desk. She tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Then she remembered that her father always kept a key hidden inside the old globe on the shelf. Nika quickly found the globe, opened it, and retrieved a tiny key. With a pounding heart, she inserted the key into the drawer's lock and turned it. The drawer clicked open. Inside lay a thick envelope. Nika picked it up, a sense of apprehension growing within her. What could be inside? She carefully tore open the envelope and pulled out a sheet of paper, folded multiple times. Unfolding it, Nika saw computer-generated text. As she began to read, her eyes widened in horror. It was a letter addressed to someone named Igor Sergeyevich, evidently a business partner of Mikhail's. In it, her father detailed his plan to strip Vera of her parental rights. He wrote about how he intended to use her financial instability and old medical records to portray her in court as an incompetent and mentally unstable mother. Nika read on, her heart aching. Her father wrote about bribing witnesses to testify against Vera and his certainty of victory due to his wealth and connections. At the end of the letter was Mikhail's signature. Nika couldn't believe her eyes. Could her father be capable of such perfidy? Was he willing to do anything to take her away from her mother? Tears began to stream down her cheeks. She felt scared and hurt. She didn't know what to do with the letter, but she understood it might be her mother's only chance. With trembling hands, Nika refolded the letter, put it back in the envelope, and slipped out of the study. She ran to the kitchen, where Vera was still busy at the stove. Vera turned, seeing her daughter's tear-streaked face. "What happened, Nika?" she asked, alarmed. "Who upset you?" Nika held out the envelope. "Mom, this is from Dad," she whispered. "Read it." Vera took the envelope and looked questioningly at Nika. She opened it and took out the letter. As she began to read, her expression gradually transformed, from surprise to disbelief, then to fury. By the time she finished, her hands were shaking. She couldn't fathom Mikhail's capacity for such depravity. Had he truly planned all this? Was he prepared to destroy her life and their daughters for his selfish agenda? This is true, Vera whispered, looking at Nika. Nika nodded, wiping her tears. I read it myself, Mom, she said. He planned it all. Vera hugged Nika, pulling her close, and wept. But these were different tears, not of despair, but of hope. Now she knew the truth, and she had a fighting chance. Yet, doubt gnawed at her. What if it was a forgery? What if Mikhail could prove it wasn't his letter? What if the court wouldn't accept it as evidence? Vera looked at the letter again. She recognized the font Mikhail usually used and his signature at the end. Hope and fear warred within her. If this was true, she had a chance to expose Mikhail and prove her innocence. But if she was mistaken, she could only worsen their situation. All right, Vera said, making a decision. We will try to use this letter in court, but first we need to consult with our lawyer. She understood it was a risky move, but she had no other option. She had to fight for her daughter, and this letter might be her only weapon. Vera looked at Nika, a fire of determination burning in her eyes. She would no longer allow Mikhail to manipulate her and ruin her life. She would prove her truth and protect her daughter at any cost. At the next hearing, Mikhail, as expected, showed no signs of relenting. He reiterated his accusations again and again. Each word was a finely honed dagger aimed at Vera's heart. She's destitute, Your Honor, his voice boomed in the courtroom. How can she provide Nika with a decent future? She lacks a stable income. She lives in the small apartment I left them. Can she even afford to pay the utilities? She's barely making ends meet. This is no life for a child. Vera listened, as if doused with ice water. Each of Mikhail's words struck a painful chord, but she tried not to show it. She knew she had to be strong for Nika. She glanced at her daughter, seated beside her. Nika looked at her with such love and faith that it gave Vera a sliver of strength. Lawyer Nosov seemed completely bewildered. He muttered something incoherent about Vera trying her best, about her being a good mother, but his words were lost in Mikhail's thunderous pronouncements. Vera felt her hope dwindling with every passing minute. At one point, Mikhail resorted to personal insults. She's unstable, Your Honor, he declared, looking directly at the judge. She had mental health issues in the past. How can a child be entrusted to her? He again referenced the old medical records, ripped from context, and presented as proof of her abnormality. Vera couldn't take it anymore. That's a lie, she exclaimed, jumping to her feet. It's all a lie. I am healthy. I love my daughter, and I will do anything to make her happy. Judge Andreeva peered at Vera over her glasses. Please, Vera Ivanovna, remain calm, she said in an even tone. We will sort everything out. But Vera couldn't calm down. She felt her life collapsing before her eyes. She understood that Mikhail was trying to destroy her, to deprive her of the one thing she held dearest, her daughter, and she felt utterly helpless against his power and money. It was at this moment, when Vera was ready to give up, that something unexpected happened. Nika, who had been sitting quietly and unobtrusively, suddenly stood up. She was small and frail, but her eyes blazed with fierce resolve. Vera looked at her daughter in surprise. Nika, what are you doing? She whispered. Nika took a few steps forward and stopped before the judge. She took a deep breath and said, her voice trembling but firm, Your Honor, I have something to say. Silence fell upon the courtroom. All eyes were fixed on the little girl who dared to interrupt the proceedings. Even Mikhail seemed stunned. Judge Andreeva looked at Nika intently. Yes, I am listening, she said gently. Nika pulled a folded sheet of paper from her pocket. I want to give you this letter, she said, handing it to the judge. My father wrote it. I found it in his study. Vera froze, unable to comprehend what was happening. She watched as the judge took the letter and unfolded it. She saw her expression change as she read its contents. Mikhail turned pale. What is this letter? He roared, trying to maintain a semblance of composure. Nika, what have you done? Nika didn't answer. She simply stood there, her eyes fixed on the judge with hope. Judge Andreeva finished reading the letter and raised her eyes to Mikhail. Mikhail Petrovich, she said in an icy tone. Can you explain what this means? Mikhail stammered. I don't know what you're talking about, he mumbled. This must be some mistake or a forgery. The judge ignored his words. This letter, she said, her gaze locked on Mikhail, details your plan to discredit Vera Ivanovna and deprive her of parental rights. It speaks of bribed witnesses, fabricated evidence, and document manipulation. Is this true? Mikhail remained silent. He stood as if struck by lightning, unable to utter a word. A deathly silence fell over the courtroom. Everyone waited for Mikhail's response, but he remained silent, unable to deny the obvious. Judge Andreeva, her expression unreadable, announced the letter's admission into evidence. The silence in the courtroom became almost palpable. Mikhail, who had exuded confidence moments before, seemed to shrink like a deflated balloon. His lawyer, visibly tensed, fiddling with his tie and casting glances at his client with undisguised anxiety. In light of newly discovered evidence, namely the letter presented by Nika Mikhailovna, which apparently contains information regarding premeditated actions aimed at discrediting the child's mother, the court deems it necessary to forward this letter to the prosecutor's office for a thorough investigation, the judge declared, each word hammered in like a nail. The court proceedings are suspended pending the results of this investigation. An inspection of the living conditions of both Vera Ivanovna and Mikhail Petrovich is ordered. Furthermore, a conversation with Nika Mikhailovna will be conducted in the presence of a psychologist. Mikhail attempted to object, but Kovalev placed a cautionary hand on his shoulder, hissing something in his ear. For the first time in the entire custody battle, Vera saw not cold calculation in Mikhail's eyes, but unadulterated fear. In the courthouse corridor after the hearing, Nosov, Vera's lawyer, approached them. He looked like a completely different person, composed and confident as if a spell had been broken. Vera Ivanovna, this is incredible, he exclaimed, shaking her hand. Nika, you're a hero. This letter, it's a real jackpot. Vera offered a weak smile, looking at Nika. Her daughter clung to her as if seeking protection. What happens now, Yuri Petrovich? Vera asked, her voice laced with hope yet tinged with caution. Now, Vera Ivanovna, we can breathe a little easier, but we cannot relax yet. The prosecutor's office will conduct an investigation and social services will visit you and Mikhail. It's important that you prepare for this. Show them you are a loving and caring mother. Nika must also be ready to speak with the psychologist. Just tell the truth, Vera Ivanovna. The truth is on your side. Nosov paused, lost in thought. And one more thing, he continued. Given the evidence provided, I will file a motion to restrict Mikhail's contact with Nika pending the outcome of the investigation. The child must be protected from potential pressure. Vera felt a lump rise in her throat. She nodded gratefully, unable to speak. In the following days, Vera's life became an exercise in anticipation. She prepared for the social services visit, tidying the apartment, striving to create an atmosphere of comfort and warmth. She spoke extensively with Nika, explaining what was happening and trying to allay her fears. Nika, despite her young age, displayed remarkable resilience. She understood she had done something important and was proud of it. Meanwhile, Mikhail tried desperately to regain control of the situation. He called Vera, first pleading, then threatening. He attempted to see Nika, but Vera, following Nosov's advice, thwarted all his efforts. One evening, as Vera was preparing dinner, there was a knock at the door. On the threshold stood two women, representatives of social services. They were polite but stern. They meticulously inspected the apartment, asking Vera and Nika questions about their lives, their family relationships, and their financial situation. Vera answered honestly and openly, not concealing their hardships, but emphasizing her love for her daughter and her readiness to do anything for her well-being. Nika, in turn, spoke about her hobbies, school, and friends. She spoke of her mother with such love and tenderness that one of the social worker's eyes glistened with tears. A few days later, Vera learned that the court had partially granted Nosov's motion. Mikhail was prohibited from seeing Nika without specialists present. This was a small yet significant victory. It meant Vera had managed to shield her daughter from potential pressure and manipulation. But the most crucial test still lay ahead: the court's decision on custody. Vera knew her future, and Nika's depended on this ruling. On the day of the hearing, Vera felt more vulnerable than ever. She feared that despite all the evidence, Mikhail might still wriggle out of it and get his way. She feared losing Nika. The courtroom was silent. Judge Andreeva read out the results of the prosecutor's investigation and the findings of the social services. These documents detailed numerous violations on Mikhail's part, including bribing witnesses and attempting to pressure Vera and Nika. The judge paused, looking around at those present. Considering all of the above, the court decrees to deprive Mikhail Petrovich, she paused, of partial parental rights. Custody of Nika Mikhailovna is fully transferred to her mother, Vera Ivanovna. Vera felt the world around her spin. She barely managed to stay on her feet. Tears of joy streamed from her eyes. She embraced Nika, holding her tightly. Mikhail Petrovich is permitted weekend visits with his daughter in the presence of a specialist, the judge continued. The court reserves the right to review this decision should circumstances change. Mikhail sat like stone, not uttering a word. Kovalev whispered something in his ear, but he seemed not to hear. After the hearing, Nosov approached Vera. He beamed with happiness. "Congratulations, Vera Ivanovna. We did it. You're a true fighter." "Thank you, Yuri Petrovich," Vera replied, her voice trembling with emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you." Nosov shook his head. "No, Vera Ivanovna, you did it. You and Nika. You showed that a mother's love is stronger than any money or manipulation." That evening at home, Vera and Nika sat on the sofa, embracing. "Mom, I'm so glad it's over," Nika whispered, burying her face in her mother's shoulder. "Me too, my darling. I'm so glad I have you. You're my greatest support and my greatest love." "And I love you very much, Mom," Nika replied. "You're the best mom in the world." Vera held Nika tightly. She felt that she had finally regained control of her life and her daughter's life. She knew many difficulties lay ahead, but she was ready for them, because now she had Nika, her loyal ally and her greatest hope.